Welcome back to another episode of Austin Underground. It's your favorite place for all things music.
We're your hosts. I'm Leslie.
And I'm Vince. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Austin Underground. We have a stupendous show for you tonight.
We'll be giving you some music news, talking about the new Good Kid EP, ranking Southern states by their rap influence,
reviewing Cowboy Carter, discussing music documentaries, and playing a fun Spotify-inspired game.
But first, let's roll the intro.
You're watching Austin Underground.
You're watching Austin Underground.
You're watching Austin Underground.
You're watching Austin Underground.
And you're watching Austin Underground.
You're watching Austin Underground.
And you're watching Austin Underground.
Now let's get into some music news, and since April Fool's was the other day, we thought it'd be fun to play Two Truths and a Lie. So tonight we'll be giving you 2 true news stories and 1 false story, and then later we'll reveal which of those stories was false.
So, our first story involves a New Jersey legend and a young concert goer. Last Sunday at the Chase Center in San Francisco, Bruce Springsteen was performing where at the front row, a child was holding a sign that read, "Skipping school, sign my note," which was meant to allow the kid to skip school the next day. The singer went on to sign the note for the young fan after the concert was over. Unfortunately, reporters found that the signature was not enough for the school to excuse the child's absence. According to his parents, the district refused to believe that the signature was real and not forged. Supposedly, this was not the first time the kid had tried using celebrity signatures to get out of school. Tough luck, kid.
In other news, the state of Tennessee has just passed a law that protects AI artists from copyright trademark law. They made history on Thursday by becoming the first legal state to protect AI artists from being accused of impersonation. Governor Bill Lee announced on social media that Tennessee is the music capital of the world, and we're leading the nation with historic protections for artists and songwriters of all kinds. The law takes place on July 1st and will protect any artist who wants to use AI to generate voices, no matter how close they are to any existing artist. They're hoping that this will help new artists get a head start when trying to create a career for themselves. Seems like we're about to get some pretty interesting music from Tennessee.
Our final story involves actress Hunter Schafer, who revealed she had dated global superstar Rosalia for about 5 months in 2019. She explained that their relationship helped her work through a lot of feelings of disdain that she had towards men as a whole. Schafer had also been dating co-star and musician Dominic Fike before, and later stated in her GQ interview, "I had dated other famous people before, but people didn't know about it." Reporters found that some of those other artists were speculated to have possibly been Steve Lacy, Charlie XCX, Daniel Radcliffe, Lil Nas X, Lil Yachty, Lil Baby, Billie Eilish, John Mayer, Jacob Collier, Ariana Grande, J-Hope from BTS, Youngboy Never Broke Again, Kim Kardashian, Lil Nas X, Shawn Mendes, Camila Mendes, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Harlow, Tyler the Creator, Sabrina Carpenter, Lizzo, Jungkook from BTS, Jacob Elordi, and Lil Nas X again.
Anyways, there's some great new music coming out this week, including albums from Vampire Weekend, Bryson Tiller, Conan Gray, The Black Keys, and more.
Last week, Canadian indie band Good Kid released their 4th EP, creatively named Good Kid 4. Tonight, we have Justin to give us his thoughts.
Hey
everybody, I'm here to talk about the new Good Kid EP, which I'm super excited for. Good Kid was my #1 artist in 2022, my #2 artist in 2023, and they're on good pace to stay at the top of the podium. This was a really exciting EP for me to see released. It's 6 tracks long, 4 of which were already singles and 2 of which are brand new songs to the public. So I just want to get into, before I start with the actual album, a lot of why I really like Good Kid in the first place. I think that a lot of people's criticisms of the indie genre come down to that at the end of the day, all of it sounds the same. But where I think that Good Kid really shines is that they have done what I think is one of the most difficult things in music, which is to really establish a unique sound that stands out from everybody else working in your area. And Good Kid does exactly that. I hear a Good Kid riff and I know that it's a Good Kid song. They have a more specific style that still fits into the genre, but I think is really beautiful. I think that they're really bright, they're really upbeat, energetic, and the vocals, the bass, the percussion, the guitar all work together to create a sound that always just makes me happy when I hear them. So that's kind of why I like Good Kid in general, but getting into the EP, our first song is Bubbly, which, contradictory to the name, it's a little bit more of a darker song compared to a lot of the other Good Kid tracks. It talks a lot about how, what my interpretation is how tough it can be to be on tour and how tough it can be to be working really hard day in and day out, and you feel kind of overwhelmed by the work that you have built up around you. And I think that this is a really interesting addition to Good Kid's discography because a lot of their songs, as I said earlier, were very upbeat and energetic. And so hearing something that's a little bit more vulnerable and something that goes into some of the darker side, potentially, of being a musician is a really interesting add. And the second song on the album, I totally love. It's a cover of Leve's From the Start. So Leve's From the Start, obviously a huge song, blew up. It probably has north of a couple 100 million streams on Spotify. And following suit, it's Good Kid's most streamed song to date, which I think it's at about 32 million. And it's just a really interesting take on the song. Whereas From the Start by Leve is more of a slower acoustic love song, Good Kid puts a really good indie rock spin on it, making it a much faster song, giving it upbeat percussion, and I think giving a new life to the song that made it really interesting to me. And going on down the list, Summer was a really good song musically and lyrically. I think that it really does a lot of good to the album in general, being placed right in the middle. Because I think that the themes of that song carry over from Bubbly in some of the more difficulties of being in the music business, but it's still a little bit of a brighter take. I think that the song does really good, and it's one of the few that I added to my playlist. And the 4th track is my absolute favorite from the album. It's Break. And what's really interesting about this one is that you get more of a genre switch from Good Kid here. You can see a lot of influence from Midwest emo artists, as the song is the fastest on the album by a lot. It has really aggressive percussion and a guitar that's more angry than lively. And its simple theme really resonated with me. You just gotta break sometimes. I think that the song is really portraying here that you can do your best to always bring up this image of yourself as someone who is really put together, as someone who is doing so many things, as someone who's very successful, as someone who is always kind, but at the end of the day, you only have so much of yourself to give, and sometimes you just have to break. You have to give yourself a break. You might need to take a break down. Breakdown. But the song, I think, really gives a good message, and a simple one at that, which is just to take that time to yourself when you feel really overwhelmed and allow yourself to not be full all of the time. And now we're getting into the new tracks. All 4 of those were singles. The newest song, and my second favorite off of the album, behind Break, is Dance Class. There are 2 kind of readings of this song that I really resonated with. One of them I think is wrong, but still is a really interesting reading from my first few listens to the song, which is about knowing a person, maybe you've just seen them once or twice, and just fantasizing about how you could meet them for the first time. Someone that you're romantically interested in, you could think, oh man, I want to meet them in a slow dance. I want to meet them to dare and go across the room and start a conversation with them. Both lines from the chorus. And I think that it's really beautiful to think about how a lot of times I catch myself seeing someone and imagining so much in the future with that person, but you still have to make it past that first step. And I think that that first step, as exemplified in the song, is really the hardest part. So that was the reading that I think is really beautiful, but the more times that I listened to the song, it was more so about, I think, the second part of the description that I had there, which is just getting up the courage to talk to a person for the first time. Someone that you might know, someone that you might be romantically interested in, or someone that you just admire. Someone that you maybe know that you know of but don't know personally. And I think that getting past that first step is really tough, and so I'm glad that the song talks about that. And then lastly, our last song on the show, Premier N. Premier N, last song of the EP. I think that it's a really beautiful one because they gave a little bit of insight to this one on their Instagram and how it was about on their UK tour. They always stayed at a Premier Inn. And if you don't know, Premier Inn is a very big hotel chain in the UK, and they have one in almost every town. And so they just talk about how it was kind of a safe place for them when they were all the way out in the UK, far away from home. Overall, I think that this album does an absolutely great job keeping up the Good Kid song, the Good Kid sound that I fell in love with so long ago. And I can't wait for Good Kid to come to Austin in about 2 weeks. With that being said, let's send it back to the hosts.
Stay tuned because after this break, we'll be ranking southern states and giving you our takes on Beyonce's new album.
Lil Wayne, Missy Elliott, 21 Savage. When you think of music from the American South, most people don't immediately think of hip-hop music. It's undeniable how much influence the southern states have had on the evolution of rap. The only question is, which state had the most influence? Here to answer that question is Ari, Drew, and Sebastian.
Okay, hello. So today we're going to be connecting rappers to states, and we're going to be each of these sides I have like one or two people, and these are just the people that have come up, but we can kind of discuss. So with Georgia, the first people that we're gonna bring up. Oh no, we've got Outkast, Big Boy, and Andre 3000. I literally like forgot. I don't even really know. No, you go.
No, you can. I mean, low key, they're in consideration for the goats of Southern hip hop. Like, they are maybe the best hip hop duo ever. Like, that's definitely in discussion. Like, all hits. Like, every album is good, not a bad album. Like,
we don't consider Idle Wild, right?
I mean, if you, that's all you. But I mean, just they're both legends in their own right. Andre 3000 is a legend. He's one of the best of all time. So is Big Boy. I mean, just their influence, it can't be overstated.
And very, very progressive for a mainstream rap duo. So
I'm glad you guys took that away because I listened to them, but I don't know a ton about them.
Oh yeah.
But out of from Georgia, they definitely are the most influential.
I would say so, and I think the fact that Georgia is probably the most important state in terms of Southern hip hop, and they're the best out of Georgia. That's probably saying something how important they
but
are.
It's also, do we want to get into artists now from Georgia, or are we gonna do that later?
I mean, we can do that now, but maybe later.
Okay,
maybe later.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
the next one for me is a big one.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
We've got Tennessee. Okay, out of Tennessee, 3-6 Mafia. This is just this group means a lot to me.
They're goated.
I didn't remember. I didn't realize how many of them there were. I also didn't know that there was a woman. I never Gangsta Boo. I had no idea. I would hear Devil's Daughter, and I'm like, what do you mean daughter? What are you talking about? So it was formed by wait, what is his name? DJ Paul and Lord Infamous. They came together, and just the sound, like I feel like they, like, kind of what we know as trap music today, they made that sound.
As well as some horrorcore elements.
Yes.
Like, Eminem is very influenced by 3 6 Mafia.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The intro to Live by a Rep, where it's like, I'm here interviewing 3 6 Mafia, who has a unique style of, like, a unique rap style. What would you do if someone tried to imitate your ideas? Like, that's just perfect.
Also,
I butchered that.
A lot of people from 3 6 Mafia have become, like, really famous, like, have really famous solo careers, like Juicy J.
Oh yeah.
Project Pat. You know, like a lot of Gangsta Boo, obviously. You know.
No, for sure. I'm completely like 100% with like they're also like one of like the cornerstones of Southern hip hop. Like of any rapper or artist or group or duo, like they're definitely up there.
Just so unique. I just
they're the best out of
Tennessee. Yeah,
for sure.
I had a hard time with that one. Okay, Florida. Oh, Trick Daddy.
Yeah.
Trick Daddy and Trina. When I think of Trick Daddy and Trina. Trick Daddy, I was looking at the Spotify whatever, and I wrote it down. What was it? He is one of the most thuggish rappers embraced by the mainstream. And everybody knows I'm a thug, baby, because I'm a thug all day, every day, baby, because I'm a thug, wouldn't change for the world.
Most definitely.
Please.
Isn't Kodak Black from Florida?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Kodak Black. Yeah.
He is.
So Florida, they got some stuff going on there.
Yeah. But, hey, wait, Louisiana?
Yeah.
Oh, Lil Wayne.
It's got to be Lil Wayne. I mean,
is it only Lil Wayne for Louisiana?
No, there's actually there's a good. I wrote some down.
Joey bad? I don't know if I can say that.
I think he's from New York. I think he's a New Yorker.
I think is he? Oh yes, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, he's from New York. Yeah.
Yeah, but Lil Wayne's obviously one of the greatest.
He's the
of all
best
time.
that came out, I think. Of
Yeah,
Louisiana.
I would say so. Like out of Louisiana, for sure. Like I can't think of many others from Louisiana, but he is definitely the GOAT out of Louisiana.
I also thought of Master P, who founded No Limit Records, and through that, like we've got, that included Silk the Shocker, Mystical, C Murder, and Soulja Slim. So you get all of those kind of as well, which I feel like they're not like as huge, but I really appreciate.
Definitely some impact there though. So
yeah, definitely.
Most definitely, I agree.
Should we go to the next one? What's the next one?
Oh.
Bro, Texas is the weakest link. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I kind of disagree with that. Yeah, I actually kind of.
I feel like, okay, so I was thinking like 90s, 2000s, and I couldn't think of like, so I got Nelly. I do like Nelly. I don't love him, but okay, wait, keep going.
So when I was thinking of Texas, when I was thinking of ranking these, I was
You
like,
got the Ghetto Boys.
Georgia number 1, I think, but then
Georgia.
Texas is number 2. Ghetto Boys and
UGK.
UGK, you know, Pimp C and Bun B. But
DJ
I was thinking
Screw and Paul
DJ
Wall.
Screw.
I mean,
DJ Screw was the one that came to my mind because DJ Screw, without DJ Screw, you would not have all the psychedelic trap rap music.
Chopped and Screwed. He literally made the genre.
You would not have Travis Scott. You would not have all these psychedelic, rap groups going on.
No, for sure. There's a lot of. I feel like a lot of the rap I've heard out of Texas is kind of like a little off kilter, like compared.
Very bluesy,
and
very
that's
bluesy sound.
Exactly, and I would say a lot of that is due to Screw's influence.
I agree,
I mean, I think Texas is very goated. Also now
Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion. I think City Girls. I could be
Yes,
lying. City
you're right.
Girls.
Yeah.
I mean, Travis Scott, like one of the biggest rappers in the world right now.
Yeah.
Like he is from
He's
Houston.
absolutely inspired by Houston rap music.
100%.
Yeah.
So I really like Texas rap. I do not think they're the weakest link, but
Nelly's
the other
good
ones
too.
are for sure.
Country grammar. You got hot in here. Everybody knows hot.
Oh yeah.
But I guess for me, I mean, I think Georgia is the strongest.
No, yeah, for sure. Georgia and Atlanta has completely like defined rap, like mainstream rap for the last like 10
music,
years.
Like Young Thug, Future, Metro Boomin, like all
Playboy
those
Cardi. I mean, you can just go on and on and on.
Yeah, and then if we're going through the list, I would say for me, Texas and Tennessee are very much neck and neck in terms of influence, because like even though Texas has a lot more rappers to its name, Tennessee is like a whole sound that's like defined for Tennessee. Like 3 6 Mafia is just like the sound.
And the people that came from, and like there's so much like 3 6 Mafia, like everybody that kind of came through that kind of, it's just like there's a lot there. Yeah. I think for me, I mean, Tennessee, it's a complete bias because it means a lot to me, but Tennessee and like Georgia's undeniable.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no topping Georgia. Like even outside of Southern rap, like we were just talking for the last like 15 years. I mean, throughout of all like nationwide, I mean, Georgia's Atlanta's
I think you can say California, New York, and Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, most definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't realize like how many people I listened to from New York. I was doing research and I was like, damn, like everybody is like so.
Well, even people from the East Coast, like Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely inspired by Memphis music, by 3 6 Mafia in terms of that, the triplet flows and sort of that darker sound.
Yeah,
absolutely inspired by. Yeah.
Okay, well I guess we should probably go back to the host.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the host.
On the topic of the South, I think it's time to talk about our new favorite Western icon, Cowboy Carter. After 2 years, Beyonce has released a new country album. And here to talk about it is Michelle, Jordan, Molly, and Sophia.
Hey guys.
Hi.
So today we are reviewing and kind of just talking about Beyonce's new country album, Cowboy Carter.
Not country album, it's a Beyonce album.
So fair. There we go. So fair, so fair. I love that. So what is some of our first thoughts on this Beyonce album?
First off, I mean, like, bam, like the historical context and the history that she packed into this album is like actually insane.
Yeah.
Like when you look at this, you're like, oh, like she took her time, like really took, I mean, it was like what?
5 years?
4 years,
Yeah.
4 years, like in the making to create this album. And like I don't know about y'all, but when I listen to artists that put that much work and that much investment into their album and their creativity and their process or whatever, I'm just like, my respect for them just goes through the roof. Like to me, I'm like, that's art.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's not just music at this point, that's art.
I agree fully.
It was not what I was expecting. It is a very slow album. I gotta say there's a lot of slow beats, and there's a few songs that I like that are like the introduction songs that are the quick like 15, 30-second ones, you know?
I loved those songs, the introductions. It felt like it felt like a movie. Ooh. Like I watched it with my eyes closed, and those 15-second things really put me in that environment. I felt like I was watching a movie.
No, yeah. It was a good like unexpected album because I was expecting like really like country and like Texas Hold'em and stuff, and we got more of like vulnerable and Beyonce vibes.
100%.
I don't know if y'all have seen Marini's Black Bottom, that movie, but like listening to the album, I felt like I was in that movie, and I was sitting in the studio watching it being recorded.
Wow.
Because you've got like that whole like the whole like Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton like radio theme invested into the album.
I
love that. It was so cool. I was just like, I feel like I'm watching her make this album.
I really loved that those artists and like the whole like radio side of it was shown, because it was like she has spoken that like this genre didn't want to hear her. She like, you know what I mean? Yeah. She was not welcomed in this genre at all. And so to have these icons be like, everyone's going to listen, like, here's the radio. Like, it was like putting it in that space of like, I don't know, like, there's so much history with country music and everything. And like, kind of just reclaiming that space was like, it was really, really powerful. And I think we can even see that in a lot of like, her album cover art and like her announcement with like her sash saying like her grandmother's name that was like taken from her. So I think like the whole album is like taking back, or not taking back, but just being a part of this genre or this community that like is hers. She's like, it's so fair to, she's a Houston girl, you know what I mean? She has these roots. So it's really cool to like hear these vulnerable stories in this way. It was a really good album.
I think even like her picking to go through the radio format specifically is very, very genius, because if you look back in history, for Black artists particularly, the radio was the one way they could gain commercial and mainstream success. Why? Because there's no face involved. It's only ears. And unless you're like, oh, I can hear a black voice per se, however you want to label it, that was the avenue for black artists to gain their success. So to go through that like route, I'd say it's just like, I'm like, oh,
I really love that she was also calling back to like.
I just wanted to play the album. Sorry.
Yeah, the album's playing. Like having a song from that time that was written and performed by a white artist, the Beatles, but it's a story about the civil rights movement and everything, and so like even taking that song and being her singing it and having it being like played on the radio is like, it's just calling back to all of this history and like really putting a lot of like, I don't know, just like the correct lens on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
yeah, McCartney. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Because the only other artist that I can think of recently that did that type of vibe with the radio is The Weeknd with his Dawn FM, and it was very well executed. Except for Beyonce's, like it just felt more like personal with her fans instead of just like, oh, let's just have this funky poppy, album. It was way more connected. And what did you think?
Yeah,
I thought the album was just so intentional and like meticulously.
That's the word.
I
really got goosebumps. Intentional.
Yes, it's so intentional that even if there were some songs that I was like, I don't know if like sonically I liked this so much, it was like I'm enjoying this album so much as a whole that it doesn't matter if I like the song or not.
It felt
it's
like
so good.
a movie, a musical, a poem. It was just, I don't know. It was like mixed medium, but just music. Like the way that there was so much textures. It was just. What was your favorite song?
I was just gonna.
There's too many. For now, I feel like Bodyguard is like my go-to, or
that's like the
or the
hit,
yeah yeah yeah.
I was about to say yeah was really good. Yeah was really good.
I love the sampling of these boots are made for walking.
When that started playing, I was like,
oh,
okay.
The album took a turn, and I was so here for it. But I think Bodyguard, and there's a bunch of rumors going around how like Taylor Swift is back vocals for it and stuff like that.
Oh, I had not.
I know
heard
she's
that.
not, but I like to think that she is. Because I'm just gonna leave it at that.
We can continue talking about favorite songs, but there was a lot of collabs on this album.
Yes. Oh yes.
What leads me to my favorite.
Yeah, there was so many little collabs. What was your
Ryan
favorite song?
Beatty, he co-wrote a lot of the songs on there, like Protector, Bodyguard, Two Hands to Heaven.
Two Hands to Heaven is such a good song.
He co-wrote a lot of them, and I was just like, what? Like when he posted, I was like, this makes sense, because like I love him as a musician, but when I tell you he's probably one of the most talented lyricists I've come across, like if you just listen to his lyrics, I'm like, this boy knows how to write. Like he knows how to write music. And it's just like knowing that he had like his hand in there, I'm just like, yep, that makes sense. That's on brand.
And what about your song?
Ooh, I was gonna say yeah because it's just so good. Like it is.
It's such a fun. It feels like she was like telling us, opening up, and like telling us about like writing about history, her family's history, her experience, and then it was like that point of like, and it's like now it's time to celebrate it. You know what I mean? It was just like a fun, it was like one of the more faster songs. It's a really good album. And I just keep on saying that because it's like it genuinely is like one of those where I'm like, they will make a movie about this. You know what I mean?
And what do we think about her take on Jolene? Because she brought Dolly Parton into the album, she brought Miley Cyrus into the album. Both have covered that song beautifully.
I loved
Beyonce's?
it. It was. I mean, it's. If I'm gonna pick one to listen to at the moment, I'm gonna pick Beyonce's.
There was like this funny. Oh well. We can talk about this on the side, but I mean, that was a great time. I hope y'all listen to it. We'll go back to those now.
Bye, guys.
Well, did you guess which of our news stories were fake?
April Fools! They were all fake idiots.
Keep watching, because after this break, we'll be discussing our favorite music documentaries, guessing Spotify artist streaming numbers.
Music documentaries are a special kind of film. They let us take a deep dive into musical topics and feel even closer to artists. They open us up to feel an even deeper appreciation for music. Here to talk about music documentaries are Emerson, Liv, Michelle, and Mia.
Hey
Okay.
Yo.
So, who prepared?
I prepared.
We're
I'm
here
prepared.
to talk about music documentaries. We're going to talk about biopics a little bit. We're going to talk about
The future.
Who's going to have a biopic
The
or
future.
documentary. But yeah, who wants to? Is there anything you guys want to start with?
Okay, well, I haven't finished it yet, but I started the Amy Winehouse documentary from 2015, Amy.
Is it good?
It's really good. It's heart-wrenching. Such a great story, and like look at her life and the things she went through and what led up to her death, which was devastating. And it's still like even after almost a decade, the number 9 like searched either documentary or I think maybe documentary in general right now on Google. So respect to the Amy documentary.
Yeah, probably has to do with the fact that a biopic is coming.
Is there okay?
People
that
are
makes
like
sense.
not excited for it though. I don't know.
Really? Who's playing Amy?
It's like a random actress I'm not familiar with.
Cannot sing.
Yeah, it's just like it's hard to match the.
I saw people wanted I think it was Ray to play her in the biopic, but that didn't happen. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's her name. Maybe.
Well, I feel like y'all should see it coming. But the documentary I always have on replay is the Miss America.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It's always Miss Americana.
okay.
I think that documentary is beautiful and it's executed well, and it touched on things that we don't get to see in the background, just like Amy Winehouse's and such. But that's my favorite.
Taylor and Amy, such similar characters.
Yeah.
I think I actually did watch like half of it, and it was interesting. Like I was like, okay.
The Miss Americana?
Yeah.
I have never
The other
seen
half
it.
is just as interesting.
I want to check it
seen
out.
it in the Taylor one.
Everyone remembers where they
I was
were
too.
Yes.
when the Katy Perry came out.
I have it on my
Katy
list.
Perry documentary.
I don't remember this.
In theaters.
I didn't
How do
even
you
know
not remember when she got divorced over text?
Dude.
Oh, was that
So
like
sad.
Russell Brand?
Yes,
that seems like something
And then
Russell
she went
Brand
to
would
do her show.
Oh,
I was like actually
Respect.
heartbroken. Like that's when I learned empathy.
Yeah. I remember my mom taking me to the movies
Yes,
and
my
everything to
mom
watch
did.
it. Like it was just a core memory.
Okay, wait, did you guys watch
how
Never
did I
Say
miss this?
Never?
oh no.
Justin Bieber.
I wasn't a believer. I was a little jerk.
hater.
I thought
I
I was
was a
too cool.
hater,
Yeah, I was a hater.
I
thought I was too cool for it when I played Xbox.
I didn't
I
see
was
the
like,
movie.
I'm so cool.
My best friend was a fan, so I did sit and watch.
I
And
did see
you
the
did.
BTS documentary because my best friend was a big BTS fan.
I did
Oh,
I
watch
saw it in theaters.
I thought you were talking about
Oh,
Big Time
wow.
Rush for a second.
I was a big Time Rush fan, but
I did. I watched the Blackpink one, and that one really
That's
opened
it.
my eyes. Like, to be a pop star in like Korea, you have to like go through like excessive training starting at 14 years old.
the BTS one was actually like really interesting.
No, like I didn't know like the culture. Like it's not like you just play songs and you're like I have an artist passion. You have to like you're like training for the military.
Didn't you? The whole doc was them being like I'm so exhausted. Like I can't take a break. Like I work like 40 hours a day. Like it was crazy.
No, it is a very exhausting activity.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna move on.
Yeah, I was gonna move on to the Kurt Cobain one. Has anyone-
That's true.
I know
haven't
you've
seen
seen
that.
I
one.
saw it in like 2016. I don't remember her that well, but I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I remember that they put him on Ritalin at 5 years old. That's like the
Felt
main thing I
that.
remember.
Sorry, wait, no,
and it
I'm
like,
kidding.
and it was like that was a catalyst for everything that went wrong with him. Like,
That's still a little too real.
well, we're not talking about the Emerson documentary.
Oh, girl. No, I knew that. Yeah, Kurt Cobain's life is.
I
I,
really
haven't seen the
like-
doc though.
I really liked it, like
That's
from what
right.
I remember, but
It
I don't
is
know. I don't know if I
sad.
can call myself a Brett Morgan fan because I was a Moon Age Daydream hater. I'm a big David Bowie fan, and I saw that movie in IMAX, and I was so excited, and I was like, oh.
Ooh.
Like, it was all him up until the age of, like, 30, and then, like, 5 seconds of him, like, right before he died.
Yeah.
And it was all
That's
just, like,
crazy.
I feel like it was cut in such an interesting way.
Dang it.
where
You
it
said you
was-
watched it so long ago, I can barely remember.
No, the Moon Age Daydream one.
Oh, okay. I don't know what you're talking about.
The David Bowie one that Brett
Oh,
Morgan
okay,
also.
okay.
The same director who made
Monsters of Heck. Okay.
I just didn't like it. Like I felt
I
like it
see.
like had this very specific perspective of David Bowie, and I, as a close personal friend of his, like
He
got
was
into-
depicted wrong.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Have
That's
y'all
okay.
seen Lady Gaga's 5'2"?
No,
actually
I
haven't.
should
It
watch
was
that.
So,
I know, I thought you were a
So
stan.
good.
I'm
Haven't
a
heard of it.
fan. I'm
You
a
will
big
cry.
fan. I
I
haven't
cried.
seen it.
I was.
But it's
Oh no, sorry. No, go ahead. I don't have anything to say about Lady Gaga.
it was so good, and you got to see it at a point when Lady Gaga was like
struggling with her work, but also struggling like with her life, and she had this type of medical condition, and she was talking about her anxiety, and it was so heartbreaking. It wasn't like one of those fun ones, but like you had to keep watching it to see the end.
I will check it out.
Yeah.
But as an Austin person, I wanted to mention The Devil and Daniel Johnston really quick. We can't not mention that. Like we just, it's Austin Underground. Talk about creating the indie scene.
We'll have to watch that.
We'll have to check it out. We'll talk about it next time. And back to the host.
One great feature on Spotify is the ability to look at the amount of monthly streams an artist has. Sometimes it really makes you understand how truly popular an artist is. Like Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z, who has 37.5 million monthly listeners, which is around the population of Canada. Anyways, on our last segment, we have Liv, Vince, Leslie, and Belle playing Higher or Lower.
Guys, today we're going to play Higher and Lower with Spotify artist streams. I'm Liv.
I'm Belle.
I'm Vince.
And I'm Leslie.
So, we're going to test, your knowledge of who's more popular, who has more streams on Spotify specifically. To start off, I have Faye Webster and the 1975.
Ooh.
1975.
1975.
I think it's 1975.
Okay, I thought these were going to be really hard, but I tested them on someone, and apparently they're all really easy, so you guys all got it right. They have 13 million. Faye Webster has 7. To me, I thought Faye Webster was huge. Like,
you kind of tricked me with that one, just because I would think that maybe she would have more people streaming her currently. But I feel like overall, 1975 was just like any other given year might have more. You know what I mean?
Right. Speaking of currently, just released an album. We have Beyonce, and then just went on tour, Drake. Who do you guys think?
I'm gonna say Drake.
I was gonna say Beyonce, actually.
I was gonna say Beyonce.
Because I'm like, I don't know, there's like, I feel like...
Like just last week. I also was like,
that's true,
Beyonce just dropped an album, but no, Beyonce's at 76 million and Drake is at 82.
Whoa.
Drake is like background noise for like at least like a million people's bedrooms.
Yeah, like the Foot Locker.
It's just like they're playing Drake.
Yeah, they're playing Drake. That's true.
That's very true.
That's such a bad choice. Anyways.
Can't say that I like it. It's just what it is.
Okay, next I have Kendrick Lamar or Doja Cat.
I'm all for the girls, but I have to say probably Kendrick is gonna have more streams.
I'm gonna go with Kendrick as well. I mean, he has a Pulitzer or something. He's got he's got some kind of writing award.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's actually really great.
Kudos, Kendrick.
I also think Kendrick. I feel like Doja's still very relevant, but I feel like a lot of her fans kind of dropped her after her.
That's what I was thinking. Is Kendrick has like this longevity that I
Yeah.
think Doja has, but right now Doja's at 63 million.
Really?
And Kendrick's at 57. But in 10 years, who will still have more? Who's to say?
And you know what? You said these were easy, and I'm stumped time and time again.
Okay. Next, I have Nicki Minaj or Olivia Rodrigo.
Olivia Rodrigo, I think, because she's on tour right now.
Yeah, but
I think it's again
how
like
many teenage
longevity
girls
or,
are
like,
there?
right now?
Yeah, like older millennials though are definitely listening to Nicki more than they are Rodrigo.
I feel like Nicki has more like diehard fans who will constantly stream her music.
Yeah.
But I feel like Olivia Rodrigo right now is just like has more people.
You know what? I'm
listening
gonna listen
her.
to y'all because I've been wrong so much. I'm gonna say Olivia Rodrigo too with y'all.
You guys are right. She's
Okay.
at 60 million and Nicki's at 53. Okay, next I have Bjork or Fiona Apple.
Ooh.
And also,
I'm
I'm
streaming.
gonna throw in, who do you guys think what do you guys think they have? Just like as a guess, because I was shocked.
Well, I'm streaming, so it's more than one.
It's at least 2.
It's at least 2. I think I'm gonna say Bjork has more because I feel like Bjork is more like internationally famous.
That's true.
Well, Fiona Apple is so like criminal American 90s, you know?
I'm gonna say Bjork has like 5 million. Fiona Apple has 3 million.
It feels low.
I think Bjork has more because of the international aspect. I don't really listen to either of the artists, but I feel like those are some good numbers that you put out there. I kind of around that ballpark as well.
Well, Vince, you were right. Fiona Apple does have 3 million, but Bjork only has 2.4.
What?
Fiona Apple beat Bjork? I was shocked. I was very shocked. Okay.
Nobody beats Bjork.
For our last one, I'll wrap it up with 2 of the highest streamers, Bad Bunny or SZA.
Bad Bunny.
I gotta say Bad Bunny, yeah. Like, Bad Bunny's like a Latin American
He's got,
treasure.
yeah, like all of Latin.
He's... Oof. He dropped a lot lately, too, though, from the last time I checked. I'm gonna say... SZA.
You're right. It is SZA. It was 71 million, and Bad Bunny has 67. I'm glad that these weren't all crazy super easy, because I read them to Molly, and she gets them all immediately. Higher lower superpower, I guess. But that's all for our higher lower game, and back to the hosts.
Here at Austin Underground, we like to acknowledge members who go above and beyond to make the show so incredible. Huge shout out to Ari for being such an amazing panel member and gracious host. We'd also like to highlight our staff member, Sarah, for being an incredible filmmaker and friend.
Okay, we have something to talk about off camera next, I guess. Oh, thank you. Red question mark. Thank you for tuning in today.
And remember, if you want more of Austin Underground's latest content, make sure to check out our social media, Austin Underground, and our website, austinunderground.org.
But for now, we'll see you next week.
Bye.